Hi, my name is Maya, and I work in the space industry as a copywriter and a content creator. I would say that my role is a pretty great example of a non-technical route into what is generally perceived as a very heavily technical sector. This preconception often alienates a lot of people and really discourages them from pursuing career in space specifically or wider STEM fields because they don't necessarily have a full qualification in science, technology, engineering, or maths. But just like in all industries, the space sector really relies on a very wide and diverse range of skill sets and professionals that keep it thriving and advancing alongside humanity. I specifically use my skills within a STEM industry to inspire thought and raise awareness and kind of communicate more technical ideas because it's really important to have these people who can kind of be a bridge between, this is not my quote, but the space serious and the space curious, So I kind of facilitate that role. So I communicate things that are going on in the space industry like industry news or any kind of exciting developments in space exploration and technology. And I also create some kind of informative content for other space organizations to utilize in kind of understanding how to create, build, and maintain a happy, cohesive, and productive workforce. So as a copywriter in the space industry, especially for a space recruitment company, you wear a lot of hats. The role isn't just limited to writing content. I'm also, heavily involved in raising awareness and advocating for change through the work that I do. My job is to communicate the vital message of my company, and that includes, a strong commitment to diversity, inclusion, and the progression of the space industry. We want to show people out there that space is for everyone, no matter who you are or where you come from and what your skills are. So a significant part of my role, which would be more kind of STEM based, is data analysis. So using our own data that we hold, I kind of study industry trends and I try and, pick out threads and see, where trends are settling and, where things are growing really fast and what things are kind of in demand. So these are things like which skills are the most in demand and which are the fastest growing, kind of geographical hotspots for specific universities if people want to get a formal education in space, hotspots for employment for certain specific industries, and as well as kind of hiring trends. This data really helps us to kind of identify gaps that we need to address within the market. And I push these pieces of content with tangible pieces of advice to our press contacts who assist us in kind of spreading the word and the message across the industry. I also write a lot of thought leadership pieces around kind of the lack of diversity and inclusion in the space industry and what more we can be doing to fix these issues. Um, some of my other responsibilities outside of writing, which I've definitely kind of come into because of the skills that I have as a writer, such as, being more outgoing potentially. I know not all writers are going to be outgoing, but me personally, enjoying public speaking and being quite good at communicating. Also the host of our podcast, which is called Ivona Origin Stories. On the show, we share diverse and exciting stories of how big names kind of made their way into the space industry. We touch on topics like diversity and inclusion, the importance of inspiring young people through STEM activities, and advice to people from both technical and non-technical backgrounds on how to pursue a career in space. That's only to name a few topics. I've spoken to some really incredible people on the podcast. Very lucky to have spoken to astronauts, aquanauts, space farmers, space lawyers, and even a company who are working to put high-speed internet on the moon by 2024. I've also had the chance to create script and voiceover videos which have been presented at major space industry conferences, which has been really incredible to be a part of. So I chose a career as a copywriter because English was just always the subject that I was constantly achieving good grades in. And it was the most consistent thing that I felt that I was really good at. And I really enjoyed doing it, which is really important. And when I was deciding what to study at university, I considered law, I considered psychology, but I'm really glad that I followed my passion for something that I genuinely love doing every day, which ended up being English literature and writing, which has served me very well until this day. Because, every single industry needs copywriters and marketers to communicate their message effectively. Like I said earlier, it's a huge driving force behind all STEM industries that often I don't think the roles really get the recognition that they deserve. But as a skilled writer and storyteller with a thirst for knowledge, you can work your way into practically any industry, and that really does go for STEM as well. And I do like to think of myself as an example of that. Um, yeah, I was lucky while studying English literature and writing to have some really good opportunities for work experience and some external projects. I wrote for the BBC, I wrote for the Independent and the Tab, alongside a few local magazines, which was organised by my university. And really saying yes to these opportunities and pursuing them have definitely been a catalyst for my career today. Because, experience is really invaluable and they really stand as testament to your ability to kind of do the job alongside your formal qualifications to actually have that experience in the field. So I would definitely say if you're someone with a passion for words, their power, and the psychology behind effective copywriting, then marketing and copywriting are incredibly effective ways for you to work in and contribute to STEM fields such as space without the need to, have a science, technology, engineering, or maths degree.